Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss spotting errors theory part 2. Let's begin. First of all, read the index, introduction of tense, important rules of tense, and sequence of tense as well. Let's see the disclaimer. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in the deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Let's begin. Tense. First of all, read the definitions. Tense is the form of verb that shows the time of the action or state expressed by the verb. As you have read the definition, you can infer that tense is a verb form which shows the time of the action or state which is expressed by the verb. Important rules. In present definite sentences, the number and person of the subject play a very important role. So as you can see that in present definite tense sentences, the number and person of the subject play a very important role. You have to remember this. If the subject is singular, number, third person, affix s or es to the verb. If the verb ends in any of the following: ss, o, x, z, sh, and ch. Add es instead of s with the verb. So if you found any verb ends with ss, os, x, z, sh, ch, add es instead of s with the verb. Like pass, miss, do, mix, fix, whiz, buzz, catch, fetch, clash, rush, etc. When the main verb is in future, use present simple in clauses with if, till, as soon as, when, unless, before, until, even if, in case, and as following. So as you can see, if a clause starts with these conjunctions like if, till, as soon as, when, unless, before, until, even if, in case, you have to use present simple instead of future tense. Example, we shall wait till she arrives. So here we have used present simple, she arrives, not future indefinite, because we have used a conjunction till here. In the main clause, we will use future tense, but in the subordinate clause, which are introduced by the conjunctions such as if, till, as soon as, we will use present tense. I shall not go there even if it rains. Again, it happens even if is used here and we have used present simple tense. Important rules. Present simple must be used instead of the present continuous with verbs of perception, feel, hear, smell, etc. There are certain verbs which are verbs of perception like feel, hear, smell, taste, see, and verbs of cognition like believe, know, think, understand, remember, etc. Verbs of emotion like hope, love, hate, adore, which cannot be used normally in continuous form, as these are state verbs. Examples, we are seeing with our eyes, which is incorrect. We see with our eyes, which is correct. So as you can see, we do not use present continuous tense with the verbs of perception like see, feel, hear, smell, etc. We use present simple as we have used we see with our eyes, which is correct. Are you hearing a strange noise, which is incorrect? Do you hear a strange noise, which is correct? So again, you can see that we do not use continuous tenses with the verb like hear, see, feel, smell, etc. Do you hear a strange noise, which is correct? We are smelling with our nose, incorrect. We smell with our nose, correct. I am feeling you are wrong, incorrect. I feel you are wrong, correct. Because the verb feel here is expressing our opinion. The water is feeling cold, incorrect. The water feels cold, correct. The verb feels here is referring to our perception. But these verbs can be used in progressive form in the following cases. As we saw that some verbs we do not use continuous tenses with, but we can use continuous tenses with them as well in a different situation. The session judge is hearing our case. Here means a different. We are thinking of going to USA next year. He is minding, which means looking after the children while his wife is away. I am seeing my lawyer today. Here see means to meet, not to notice. I am having some difficulties with this puzzle. One must not use adverb of past time like yesterday, last year, last month, ago, short, while ago, etc. with present perfect tense. So we do not use these time expressions with present perfect tenses. Example, he has completed his book yesterday. So this is incorrect because we have used present perfect tense here, and we can't use a time expression which refers to past as yesterday. The correct one is he completed his book yesterday. Or you can also say he has completed his book without referring to the time. Use of since and for. Students commit mistake in using since or for. Please not. For is used for period of time and since is used for point of time. So here you can see most of the time students commit mistake while using since and for. So for is used for period of time and since is used for point in time. With morning, evening, etc. use since, and with some time, hours, months, etc. use for. There are certain other expressions of time like January, February, childhood. With these expressions we use since, but with hours, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours we use for. Important rules. If two or more actions took place in sequence, we use simple past to denote the actions. Otherwise, past perfect is used to denote the earlier action. This is usually used with conjunction before. So here we are taking that if two or more actions took place in sequence, we use simple past to denote actions, which are used with the help of the conjunction before. Example, he switched on the light before he opened the door. So here we have used switch on. Switch is the past form of the verb switch. And here we have used open. Open is the past form of the verb open. And here we have used the conjunction before. The train started just before I reached the station. Here you can say that train started before I reached the station. So starting of train is the preceding one. The use of simple past with wish and if only shows unreal past and present states of things. With wish and if only, you show unreal past, and you have to use different tenses with these expressions. Example, I wish I were a millionaire. But you can't use I am not a millionaire because here we have used I wish. I wish represent a hypothetical situation or imaginary situation. That's why we have used were here. The simple past, not was. Regardless of the number of the subject, you have to use were here. If only I knew her. Here again we have used if only I knew her. With if only we have used the past form of the verb knew of know. In the following structure, the use of simple past denote unreal past and present time situation. Example, it is time we went home. With the expression it is time, it is high time, it is about time, we have to use the same thing. You have to use the second form of the verb, like went here. It is time for us to go. It means it is time you finished, it is time for you to finish. Here again we have used finished instead of finish, the second form of the verb. Use of past continuous with when and while. When is usually used when one action was completed and another action was going on. So one action is going on in background and another action took place. In this situation, we use past continuous tense. Example, when he arrived, his wife was washing her clothes. So one action was in background and the another action took place. He arrived took place and it was in the background, was washing. While is used when two actions were going on on at a time. It means simultaneously. Example, while she was cooking, I was washing the clothes. So these two actions are going on simultaneously. Important rules. Past perfect is used when look back on earlier action from a certain point in the past. So here we are talking about the use of past perfect. Example, she had completed her work before I reached there. So there are two events. One event completed before another event had completed her work, and the other one is I reached there. So she had completed her work before I reached there. So completing her homework was done before I reached there. The past perfect is also used for an action which began before the time of speaking in the past and which stopped some time before the time of speaking. Example, he had served in a bank for 20 years. Then he retired and established his business. His children were now well settled. So as you have seen, the past perfect is also used for an action which began before the time of speaking in the past and which stopped sometime before the time of speaking. Here we cannot use either since or the past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous is used when the action began before the time of speaking in the past and continued up to that time. So here we are talking about the use of past perfect continuous. Example, it was now 8 and she was tired because she had been cleaning the house since dawn. So an action started in the past and was going on up to a certain point in the past. When two actions are to be taken place on some future time, we use future perfect for the action completed first and present simple for the action to be completed afterwards. The student will have left the class before the teacher comes. So in the main clause, the student will have left the class before the teacher comes. So this work has been done earlier. The teacher comes. In future, the principal will have started before I reach there. So this work has also done before I reach there. So here we are talking about future events, two future events here. One action will be completed before another. Future perfect is also used for such incidents, actions about which we presume that another person already had the knowledge of that incident or the action already completed by that time. Example, you will have heard about Mother Teresa. Here we are presuming the action. He will have read the newspaper so far. It means the action is done. Let's talk about sequence of tense. The sequence of tenses are the principles which govern the tense of the verb in subordinate clauses. The tense of the verb in principal clause, the rules which determine the tense of the subordinate clause, if the tense of the principal clause is present or past or future, are studied under the sequence of tense. So let's understand. If the principal clause is in the past tense, the subordinate clause should also be in the past. So here we are talking that if you find any clause which is a principal clause in the past tense, so subordinate clause after it will be in the past as well. Let's understand with the sentence. My father assured is a main clause which is in the past, that he would buy a bike for me. So here that he would buy a bike for me is a subordinate clause, and here we have used would instead of will because we are in the main clause we are talking about past. So here we have used would instead of will. He failed because he did not work hard. Again, the main clause in the past, he failed. Because he did not work hard is also used in the past. Just because the main clause is in the past. Sequence of tense. A past tense in the principal clause may be followed by a present tense in the subordinate clause when the subordinate clause expresses a universal truth, mathematical calculation, historical fact, moral guidelines, habitual fact, or something that has not yet changed. In such cases, the tense of the subordinate clause is not governed by the tense of the principal clause. The subordinate clause is usually in present tense in such cases. So here we are talking about the cases where tense is not changed in the subordinate clause. Example, he said that the earth revolves around the sun. Although main clause is in the past, but we want to change the tense in the subordinate clause. We learned at school that the truth always triumphs. Main clause is in the past, we learned at school, but the subordinate clause is in the present tense, triumphs. Exception 2. If the subordinate clause is introduced by a conjunction of comparison such as than, as well as, etc., in such case, a past tense in the principal clause may be followed by any tense in the subordinate clause as per the sense of the sentence. Furthermore, any tenses in principal clause can be followed by any tense in the subordinate clause. So let's understand with the examples. Example, he loved me more than he loved you. So in the main clause, we have used the past form of the verb love, loved. And after then, we have also used the past form of the verb love. And this is right. He loved me more than he loves you. This is also correct that we have used present indefinite tense, the first form of the verb love, in a singular form after then. He loved me more than he will love you, the future indefinite tense, it is also correct. So as we have understood that instead of despite using past tense in the main clause, we can use any kind of tense in the subordinate clause which is used with then. He will love you more than he loved me. So in this sentence, the main clause is in the future, but the subordinate clause is in the past. This is also correct. He has loved you more than he loved me. In the main clause, we have used present perfect tense, but in the subordinate clause, we use past indefinite tense. This is also correct. He will love you more than he loves me. This is also correct. Sequence of tense. Exception 3. If the subordinate clause is an adjective clause, in that case, it may be in any tense, even the principal clause is in the past tense. Example, I visited the place where accident took place. Here we have used visited, the past tense, and in the subordinate clause, we have also used past indefinite tense. Where accident took place is an adjective clause. In this case, we can use any tense. I visit the village where he lives. Again, this is correct. Present definite tense. I visit the hotel where she will stay. This is also correct. Because where she will stay is introducing the hotel. Sequence of tense. A present or future tense in the principal clause may be followed by any tense. Example, he says that she passed the examination. So as you can see that a present or future tense in the principal clause may be followed by any tense. If you have used any present tense or future tense in the main clause, you can use any kind of tense in the subordinate clause. Here we have used future tense in the subordinate clause, and in the previous sentence we have used past indefinite tense. Here we have used present definite tense in the subordinate clause. This is also correct. Ram will say that Sita is a beautiful girl. Here we have used future indefinite tense in the main clause and present indefinite tense in the subordinate clause. This is correct. Ram will say that he did not like that girl. Here we have used future indefinite tense in the main clause and the past indefinite tense in the subordinate clause. He will say that he will pass the examination positively. Here we have used in the main clause future tense and the future tense as well in the subordinate clause. This is also correct. Exception. If the subordinate clause is introduced by if, till, as soon as, when, unless, before, until, even if, as, etc. And the principal clause is in simple future. In that case, the verb in subordinate clause must be in the present simple. Example, we shall not go to the market if it rains. Here we have used future indefinite tense in the main clause, and in the subordinate clause introduced by if, we have used present indefinite tense. Because main clause is already in the future tense, so we do not use future tense in the subordinate clause. It automatically refers to future by using present indefinite tense. He will wait till she comes. In the main clause, we have used future tense, but in the subordinate clause, we have used present tense, the same again. So this is all about this session. Thank you.